Then Joshua called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh and said to them, "You have kept all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not left your brethren these many days to this day, but have kept the charge of the commandment of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brethren, as he promised them. Therefore now return you and get you to your tents and to the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of Jordan. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law, which Moses the servant of the Lord charged you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh Moses had given possession in Bashan, but to the other half thereof gave Joshua among their brethren on this side of Jordan westward. And when Joshua sent them away also to their tents, then he blessed them, and he spoke to them, saying, "Return with much riches to your tents, and with very much cattle, with silver, and with gold, and with brass, and with iron, and with very much raiment. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brethren." And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned and departed from the children of Israel out of Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the country of Gilead, to the land of their possession, whereof they were possessed, according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And when they came to the borders of Jordan, that are in the land of Canaan, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by Jordan, a great altar to see to. And the children of Israel heard say, "Behold, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built an altar opposite the land of Canaan in the borders of Jordan, at the passage of the children of Israel." And when the children of Israel heard of it, the whole congregation of the children of Israel gathered themselves together at Shiloh to go up to war against them. And the children of Israel sent to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to the half-tribe of Manasseh into the land of Gilead Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 princes, of each chief house a prince throughout all the tribes of Israel. And each one was a head of the house of their fathers among the thousands of Israel. And they came to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to the half-tribe of Manasseh to the land of Gilead, and they spoke with them, saying, "Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, what trespass is this that you have committed against the God of Israel, to turn away this day from following the Lord, in that you have built you an altar, that you might rebel this day against the Lord? Is the iniquity of poor too little for us, from which we are not cleansed until this day, although there was a plague in the congregation of the Lord, but that you must turn away this day from following the Lord? And it will be, seeing you rebel today against the Lord, that tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. Notwithstanding, if the land of your possession be unclean, then pass you over to the land of the possession of the Lord, wherein the Lord's tabernacle dwells, and take possession among us. But rebel not against the Lord, nor rebel against us, in building you an altar beside the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Achan, the son of Zerah, commit a trespass in the accursed thing, and wrath fell on all the congregation of Israel? And that man perished not alone in his iniquity. Then the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh answered and said to the heads of the thousands of Israel, "The Lord God of gods, the Lord God of gods, he knows, and Israel he shall know, if it be in rebellion, or if in transgression against the Lord. Save us not this day, that we have built us an altar to turn from following the Lord, or if to offer thereon burnt offering or meat offering, or if to offer peace offerings thereon. Let the Lord himself require it. Food, call us to account. And if we have not rather done it for fear of this thing, saying, in time to come, your children might speak to our children, saying, what have you to do with the Lord God of Israel? For the Lord has made Jordan a border between us and you. You children of Reuben and children of Gad, you have no part in the Lord. So shall your children make our children cease from fearing the Lord. Therefore we said, let us now prepare to build us an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but that it may be a witness between us and you, and our generations after us, that we might do the service of the Lord before him with our burnt offerings and with our sacrifices and with our peace offerings, that your children may not say to our children in time to come, you have no part in the Lord. Therefore said we, that it shall be, when they should so say to us or to our generations in time to come, that we may say again, behold the pattern of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made not for burnt offerings nor for sacrifices, but it is a witness between us and you. God forbid that we should rebel against the Lord and turn this day from following the Lord to build an altar for burnt offerings or for meat offerings or for sacrifices beside the altar of the Lord our God that is before his tabernacle. And when Phinehas the priest and the princes of the congregation and heads of the thousands of Israel which were with him heard the words that the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the children of Manasseh spoke, it pleased them. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, said to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to the children of Manasseh, this day we perceive that the Lord is among us, because you have not committed this trespass against the Lord. Now you have delivered the children of Israel out of the hand of the Lord. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and the princes returned from the children of Reuben and from the children of Gad out of the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan to the children of Israel, and brought them word again. And the thing pleased the children of Israel. And the children of Israel blessed God, and did not intend to go up against them in battle, to destroy the land wherein the children of Reuben and Gad dwelled. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad called the altar Ed, for it shall be a witness between us that the Lord is God. And it came to pass a long time after that, the Lord had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Joshua waxed old and stricken in age. And Joshua called for all Israel, and for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old and stricken in age, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations because of you. For the Lord your God is he that has fought for you. Behold, I have divided to you by lot these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes from Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off, even to the great sea westward. And the Lord your God, he shall expel them from before you, and drive them from out of your sight, and you shall possess their land, as the Lord your God has promised to you. Be you therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that you turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left, that you come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves to them, but cling to the Lord your God, as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out from before you great nations and strong. But as for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you shall chase 1,000. For the Lord your God, he it is that fights for you, as he has promised you. Take good heed, therefore, to yourselves, that you love the Lord your God, Else if you do in any wise go back and cling to the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them and go into them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps to you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land, which the Lord your God has given you. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing has failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spoke concerning you. All are come to pass to you, and not one thing has failed thereof. Therefore it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things, until he have destroyed you from off this good land which the Lord your God has given you, when you have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other gods, and bowed yourselves to them. Then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land which he has given to you.
And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and he called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, Your fathers dwelled on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham, from the other side of the flood, and led him throughout all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. I gave Isaac, Jacob, and Esau, and I gave to Esau Mount Seir to possess it, but Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt according to that which I did among them. And afterwards I brought you out, and I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued you after your fathers, and chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. And when they cried to the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt, and you dwelled in the wilderness for a long time. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelled on the other side of the Jordan. And they fought with you, and I gave them into your hands, that you might possess their land. And I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam the son of Beor to curse you. But I would not hearken to Balaam. Therefore he blessed you still, so I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over the Jordan, came to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. And I sent you the hornet before you, which drove them out before you, even the two kings of the Amorites, but not with your sword, nor with your bow. And I have given you a land for which you did not labor, and cities which you did not build, and you dwelt in them. All the vineyards and the olive yards which you planted and do eat. Now therefore fear the Lord, and fear him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve you the Lord. And if it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For the Lord our God, he is that which brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us all the way wherein we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. And the Lord drove out from before us all the people, even the Amorites which dwelled in the land. Therefore will we serve the Lord, for he is our God. And Joshua said to the people, you cannot serve the Lord, for he is a holy God. He is a jealous God, and he will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If you forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you. After that, he has done you good. And the people said to Joshua, nay, but we will serve the Lord. And Joshua said to the people, you are witnesses against yourselves, that you have chosen you, the Lord, to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses. Now therefore put away, he said, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart to the Lord God of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, the Lord our God we will serve, and his voice we will obey. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God and took a great stone and set it up under the oak, and it was by the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said to all the people, behold, this stone shall be a witness to us, for it has heard all the words of the Lord which he has spoken to us. It shall be therefore a witness to you, lest you deny your God. So Joshua let the people depart, every man to his inheritance. And it came to pass after these things that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-serah, which is the mount of Ephraim on the north side of the hill of Gaash. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, which had known all the works of the Lord, and he had done for Israel. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. And it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. And Eleazar the son of Aaron died, and they buried him in a hill that pertained to Phinehas his son, which was given him in Mount Ephraim. Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first to fight against them? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I've delivered the land into his hand. And Judah said to Simeon his brother, come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I likewise will go up with you into your lot. So Simeon went with him, and Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand, and they slew of them Bezek 10,000 men. And they found Adonai-Bezek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonai-Bezek fled, and they pursued him, and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his great toes. And Adonai-Bezek said, 70 kings have their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table as I have done, so the Lord has requited me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. Now the children of Judah had fought against Jerusalem, and had taken it and smitten it with the edge of the sword, and set the city on fire. And afterwards the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites that dwelled in the mountain, and in the south, and in the valley. And Judah went against the Canaanites that dwelled in Hebron. Now the name Hebron was before Kiriath Arba. And they slew Sheshai, and Ahiman, and Talmai. And from there he went against the inhabitants of Debir. And the name of Debir before was Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, he that smiles Kiriath Sepher and takes it, to him will I give Aksah, my daughter, as wife. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took it, and he gave him Aksah, his daughter, as his wife. And it came to pass when she came to him that she moved him to ask of her father a field. And she lighted from off the ass. And Caleb said to her, what will you? And she said to him, give me a blessing. For you've given me the south land. Give me also the springs of water. And Caleb gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. And the children of Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of the palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which lies in the south of Arad. And they went and dwelt among the people. And Judah went with Gideon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites and inhabited Jephthah, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah. And Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Ashkelon with the coast thereof, and Ekron with the coast thereof. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drove out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moses said, and he expelled from there the 3 sons of Anak. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. And the house of Joseph, they went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. And the house of Joseph sent a cry to Bethel. Now the name of the city before was Luz. And the spies saw a man come forth out of the city, and they said to him, Show us, we pray you, the entrance into the city, and we will show you mercy. And when he had showed them the entrance into the city, they smote the city with the edge of the sword, but they let go the man and all his family. And the man went into the land of the Hittites and built a city, and called the name thereof Luz, which is the name thereof to this day. Neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshan and her towns, nor Taanach and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, but the Canaanites would dwell in the land. And it came to pass, when Israel was strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. Neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites that dwelled in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelled in Gezer among them. Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalol, but the Canaanites dwelt among them and became tributaries. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Achol, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor Achlab, nor of Achzib, nor of Helba, nor of Aphik, nor of Rehob. But the Asherites dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Bethshemesh, nor the inhabitants of Bethanath, but he dwelt among the Canaanites and the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Bethshemesh and Bethanath became tributaries to them, and the Amorites forced the children of Dan into the mountain, for they would not permit them to come down into the valley. But the Amorites would dwell in the Mount Heres, in Achalon, and in Sha'abim. From the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed, so that they became tributaries. And the coast of the Amorites was from the going off of Akarbim, from the rock and upwards.
And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim, and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you to the land which I swore to your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And you shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. You shall throw down their altars, but you have not obeyed my voice. Why have you done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare to you. And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. And they called the name of that place Bochim, and they sacrificed there to the Lord. And when Joshua had let the people go, the children of Israel went every man to his own inheritance to possess the land. And the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord that he had did for Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-heres, in the mountain of Ephraim, on the north side of the hill Gash. And also all that generation were gathered to their fathers, and there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served Balaam, and they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them up out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves to them, and provoked the Lord to anger. And they forsook the Lord, and served Baal and Ashtaroth. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Wherever they went out, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil. And the Lord has said, and as the Lord had sworn to them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken to their judges, but they went a-whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves to them. They quickly turned out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of their groanings, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers, and in following other gods to serve them and bow down to them, they ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people has transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened to my voice, I also will not hereafter drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it, or not. Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan. Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivites, that dwelled in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal-Hermon to the entering in of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken to the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelled among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to be their sons, gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord their God, and served Balaam and the groves. Therefore the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. And when the children of Israel cried to the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out to war. And the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand. and his hand prevailed against Cushan Rishathaim. And the land rested 40 years, and Othniel, son of Kenaz, died. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. And he gathered to him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. But when the children of Israel cried to the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. And by him the children of Israel sent a present to Eglon, the king of Moab. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. And he brought the present to Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent the people away that bore the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand to you, O king. Who said, Keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. And Ehud came to him, and he was sitting in his summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God to you. And he rose up out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch, and shut the doors upon the parlor upon him, and locked them. And when he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, Surely he covers his feet in his summer chamber. And they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, their lord was fallen down dead on the earth. And Ehud escaped while they tarried, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped to Serath. And it came to pass, when he was come, that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim. And the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said to them, Follow me, for the Lord has delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and allowed not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty and all men of valor, and there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. And after him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel.
And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried to the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at the time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel in Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Has not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw to you to the river Kishon, Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into your hand." And Barak said to her, "If you will go with me, then I will go. But if you will not go with me, then I will not go." And she said, "I will surely go with you, notwithstanding the journey that you take shall not be for your honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman." And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went with him. Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself from the Kenites and pitched his tent to the plain of Zanim, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Sisera that Barak the son of Abinoam was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him, from Harosheth of the Gentiles to the river Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, "Up, for this is the day in which the Lord has delivered Sisera into your hand. Is not the Lord gone out before you?" So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his host with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off his chariot and fled away on his feet. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the host to Harosheth of the Gentiles, and all the host of Sisera fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left. However, Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Kenite. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Turn in, my lord, turn in to me, fear not." And when he had turned into her tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said to her, "Give me, I pray you, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty." And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. Again he said to her, "Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be when any man does come and inquire of you and say, 'Is there any man here?' that you shall say, 'No.'" Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand and went softly to him and smote the nail into his temples and fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary. So he died. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said, "Come, and I will show you the man whom you seek." And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead. The nail was in his temples. So God subdued on that day Jabin the king of Canaan before the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Jabin the king of Canaan until they had destroyed Jabin the king of Canaan. Then sang Deborah and Barak the song, the son of Abinoam, on that day, saying, "Praise you the Lord for the avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O you kings, give ear, O you princes. Even I will sing to the Lord. I will sing praise to the Lord, the God of Israel. Lord, when you went out of Seir, when you marched out of the field of Edom, the earth trembled, the heavens dropped, the clouds also dropped water. The mountains melted from before the Lord, even that Sinai from before the Lord God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the highways were occupied. The travelers walked through byways. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel until that day I, Deborah, arose, that I arose a mother in Israel. They chose new gods. Then was there war in the gates. Was there a shield or spear seen among the 40,000 in Israel? My heart is toward the governors of Israel that offered themselves willingly among the people. Bless you, the Lord. Speak, you that ride on white asses, you that sit in judgment and walk by the way. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Awake, awake, Deborah, awake, awake, utter a song. Arise, Barak, lead your captivity captive, you son of Abinoam. Then he made him that remains to have dominion over the nobles among the people. The Lord made me have dominion over the mighty. Out of Ephraim there was a root of them against Amalek. After you, Benjamin, among your people, out of Machir came down the governors, and out of Zebulun they that handle the pen of the writer. And the princes of Issachar were with Deborah, even Issachar, and also Barak. He was sent on foot into the valley for the divisions of Reuben. There were great thoughts of heart. Why abode you among the sheepfolds to hear the bleating of the flocks? For the divisions of Reuben there were great searchings of heart. Gilead abode beyond Jordan. And why did Dan remain in ships? Asher continued on the seashore and abode in his breaches. Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that jeopardized their lives to the death in high places of the field. The kings came and fought. Then fought the kings of Canaan in Tanakh by the waters of Megiddo. They took no gain of money. They fought from heaven. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. The rivers of Kishon swept them away, that ancient river, the river Kishon. O my soul, you have trodden down strength. Then there were the horse hooves, broken by the means of the prancings of their mighty ones. Curse you, Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Curse you bitterly, the inhabitants thereof, because they came not to the help of the Lord against the mighty. Blessed above women shall be Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite be. Blessed shall she be above women in the tent. He asked water, and she gave him milk. She brought forth butter in a lordly dish. She put her hand to the nail, and with her right hand the workman's hammer. And with the hammer she smote Sisera. She smote off his head when she had pierced and stricken through his temples. At her feet he bowed, he fell, he lay down. At her feet he bowed, he fell. Where he bowed, he fell down dead. The mother of Sisera looked out the window and cried through the lattice, Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the wheels of his chariot? Her wise ladies answered her. Yea, she returned answer to herself. Have they not sped? Have they not divided the prey? To every man a damsel or two, to Sisera a prey of divers colors, a prey of divers colors of needlework on both sides, meet for the necks of them that take the spoil. So let all your enemies perish, O Lord, but let them who love him be as the sun when it goes forth in his might. And the land had rest for 40 years.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. And so it was, when Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. And they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth till come to Gaza, and left no sustenance for Israel, nor sheep, nor ox, nor ass. For they came up with their cattle in their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for multitude. For both they and their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy it. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried to the Lord. And it came to pass, when the children of Israel cried to the Lord because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent a prophet to the children of Israel, which said to them, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. And I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drove them out from before you, and gave you their land. And I said to you, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained to Joash the Abiezrite, that and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. And Gideon said to him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us, of saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this your might, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent you? And he said to him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And the Lord said to him, Surely I will be with you, and you shall smite the Midianites as one man. And he said to him, If now I have found grace in your sight, then show me a sign that you talk with me. Depart not from here, I pray you, until I come to you, and bring forth my present and set it before you. And he said, I will tarry until you come again. And Gideon went in and made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. The flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot and brought it out to him under the oak and presented it. And the angel of God said to him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cakes and lay them upon this rock and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the flesh and the unleavened cakes. And there rose up from fire out of the rock and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, Alas, O Lord, O God, for because I have seen an angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said to him, Peace be to you, fear not, you shall not die. Then Gideon built an altar there to the Lord and called it Jehovah Shalom. To this it is yet in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, Take your father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the grove that it is by, and build an altar to the Lord your God upon the top of this rock in the ordered place, and take the second bullock and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the grove which you shall cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men and of his servants and did as the Lord had said to him. And so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, that he did it by night. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down that was by it. And the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. And they said to one another, Who has done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon the son of Joash has done this thing. Then the men of the city said to Joash, Bring out your son, that he may die, because he has cast down the altar of Baal, and because he has cut down the grove that was by it. And Joash said to all that stood against him, Will you plead for Baal? Will you save him? He that will plead for him, let him be put to death while it is yet morning. If he is a god, let him plead for himself, because one has cast down his altar. Therefore on that day he called him Jerubbaal, saying, Let Baal plead against him, because he has thrown down his altar. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of East were gathered together and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. And he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who also was gathered after him, and he sent messengers to Asher and to Zebulun and to Naphtali, and they came up to meet him. And Gideon said to God, If you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool in the floor, and if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. And it was so. For he rose up early on the morrow and thrust the fleece together and wrung the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. And Gideon said to God, Let not your anger be hot against me, and I will speak but this once. Let me prove, I pray you, but this once with the fleece. Let it now be dry only upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Herod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them, by the hill of Moreh in the valley. And the Lord said to Gideon, The people that are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, My own hand has saved me. Now therefore, go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, Whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000. And the Lord said to Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will try them for you there. And it shall be that of whom I say to you, this shall go with you, the same shall go with you. And whomsoever I say to you, this shall not go with you, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people to the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, everyone that laps of the water with his tongue as a dog laps, him shall you set by himself. Likewise, everyone that bows down upon his knees to drink. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hands to their mouths, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And the Lord said to Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into your hands, and let all the other people go every man to his place. So the people took victuals in their hands and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man to his tent, and retained those 300 men, and the host of Midian was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, arise, get you down to the host, for I have delivered it into your hand. But if you fear to go down, go you with Phurah your servant down to the host, and you shall hear what they say. And afterwards shall your hands be strengthened to go down to the host. Then went he down with Phurah his servant to the outside of the armed men that were in the host. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along the valley like grasshoppers for multitude, and then camels were without number as the sand by the seaside for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream to his fellow and said, behold, I dreamed a dream. And lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came to a tent, and smote it that it fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay along. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand has God delivered Midian and all the host. And it was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned into the host of Israel and said, arise, for the Lord has delivered into your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet in every man's hand with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said to them, look on me and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall you do. When I blow with the trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow your trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and say, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came to the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and broke the pitchers that were in their hands. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and broke the pitchers, and held the lamps in their left hands and the trumpets in their right hands to blow with. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood, every man in his place, round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And the 300 blew the trumpets, and the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout the host. And the host fled to Bethshittah and in Zarethath, and to the border of Ablamoah to Tabbath. And then the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali and out of Asher and out of all Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Mount Ephraim, saying, come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters to Bethbara and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together, and took the waters to Bethbara and Jordan. And they took 2 princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock. Oreb and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan.
And how great
He's our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And oh, we'll sing how great is our God. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. In my heart will sing how great is our God. Oh, you're the name, you're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. In my heart will sing how great is our God.
And the men of Ephraim said to him, Why have you served us thus, that you called us not when you went to fight with the Midianites? And they did chide him sharply. And he said to them, What have I done now in comparison of you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? God has delivered into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. And what was I able to do in comparison of you? Then their anger was abated toward him when he'd said that. And Gideon came to Jordan and passed over, he and the 300 men that were with him, faint, yet pursuing them. And he said to the men of Succoth, Give, I pray you, loaves of bread to the people that follow me, for they be faint, and I'm pursuing after Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the princes of Succoth said, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we should give bread to your army? And Gideon said, Therefore, when the Lord has delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, then I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars. And he went up from there to Penuel and spoke to them likewise. And the men of Penuel answered him as the men of Succoth had answered him. And he spoke also to the men of Penuel, saying, When I come again in peace, I will break down this tower. Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor, and their host with them, about 15,000 men, all that were left of all the host of the children of the east, for there fell 120,000 men that drew sword. And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwelled in tents on the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and smote the host, for the host was secure. And when Zebah and Zalmunna fled, he pursued after them and took the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and discomfited all the host. And Gideon the sons of Joash returned from battle before the sun was up, and caught a young man of the men of Succoth, and inquired of him. And he described to him the princes of Succoth and the elders thereof, even 70 men. And he came to the men of Succoth and said, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, with whom you did upbraid me, saying, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we should give bread to your men that are weary? And he took the elders of the city, and thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with him he taught the men of Succoth. And he beat down the tower of Penuel, and slew the men of the city. Then he said to Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner of men were they whom you slew at Tabor? And they answered, As you are, so were they. Each one resembled the children of a king. And he said, They were my brethren, even the sons of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you had saved them alive, I would not slay you. And he said to Jephthah, his firstborn, Up and slay them. But the youth drew not his sword, for he feared, because he was yet a youth. Then Zebah and Zalmunna said, Rise, you, and fall upon us, for as the man is, so is his strength. And Gideon arose and slew Zebah and Zalmunna, and took away the ornaments that were on the camels' necks. Then the men of Israel said to Gideon, Rule over us, both you and your son's son also, for you have delivered us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon said to them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you. The Lord shall rule over you. And Gideon said to them, I would desire a request of you, that you would give every man the earrings of his prey. Give me every man the earrings of his prey, for they had golden earrings, because they were Ishmaelites. And they answered, We will willingly give them. And they spread a garment, and did cast therein every man the earrings of his prey. And the weight of the golden earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, beside ornaments and collars and purple raiment that was on the kings of Midian, and beside the chains that were about their camels' necks. And Gideon made an ephod thereof, and put it in his city, even in Ophrah. And all Israel went there, a-whoring after it, which thing became a snare to Gideon and to his house. Thus was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more, and the country was in quietness 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jerubbaal the son of Joash went and dwelled in his own house. And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bore him a son, whose name he called Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died in a good old age, and was buried in the sepulchre of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezerites. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again, and went a-whoring after Baalim, and made Baal-berith their god. And the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who had delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness that he had shown to Israel. And Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's brethren, and communed with them and with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. And his mother's brethren spoke of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith, wherein Abimelech hired vain and light persons which followed him. And he went to his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons upon one stone. Notwithstanding yet, Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Milo went and made Abimelech king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. And when they had told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice, and cried, and said to them, Hearken to me, you men of Shechem, that God may hearken to you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, Reign you over us. But the olive tree said to them, Should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? And the trees said to the fig tree, Come, you, and reign over us. But the fig tree said to them, Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees to the vine, Come, you, and reign over us. And the vine said to them, Should I leave my wine, which cheers God and man, and go to be promoter over the trees? Then said all the trees to the bramble, Come, you, and reign over us. And the bramble said to the trees, If in truth you anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let the fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon. Now, brethren, if you have done truly and sincerely in that you have made Abimelech king, if you've dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done to him according to the deserving of his hands, for my father fought for you and adventured his life far, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, and you are risen up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons 70 persons upon one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his maidservant, king over the men of Shechem, because he's your brother. If you then have dealt truly and sincerely with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice you in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come forth from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Milo. Let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Milo and devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled, and went to Beer, and dwelled there, for fear of Abimelech, his brother. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech, their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brethren. And the men of Shechem sent liers in wait for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all this that came along that way by them, and it was told Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed came with his brethren, and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out into the fields, and gathered their vineyards, and trampled the gates, and made merry, and went into the house of their God, and did eat and drink, and cursed Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed said, Who is Abimelech? Who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Jerubbaal, and Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for why should we serve him? And would to God this people were under my hand, then would I remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, Increase your army and come out.
And when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers to Abimelech craftily, saying, Behold, Gaal the son of Ebed and his brethren be come to Shechem, and behold, they fortify the city against you. Now therefore up by night, you and the people that is with you, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, you shall rise early and set upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that is with him come out against you, then may you do to them as you shall find occasion. And Abimelech rose up, and all the people that were with him by night, and they laid wait against Shechem in 4 companies. And Gaal the son of Ebed went out, and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him, from lying in wait. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And Zebul said to him, You see the shadow of the mountains as if they were men. And Gaal spoke again and said, See, there come people down by the middle of the land, and another company come along by the plain of Meonanim. Then said Zebul to him, Where is now your mouth wherewith you said, Who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Is not this the people that you have despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them. And Gaal went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. And many were overthrown and wounded, even to the entering of the gate. And Abimelech dwelled at Uraimah, and Zebul thrust out Gaal and his brethren, that they should not dwell in Shechem. And it came to pass on the morrow that the people went out into the field, and they told Abimelech. And he took the people and divided them into 3 companies, and laid wait in the field, and looked, and behold, the people were come forth out of the city. And he rose up against them and smote them. And Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And the two other companies ran upon all the people that were in the fields and slew them. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and he took the city, and he slew the people that was therein, and beat down the city, and sowed it with salt. And when all the men of the tower of Shechem heard that, they entered into a hold of the house of the god Berith. And it was told Abimelech that all the men of the tower of Shechem were gathered together. And Abimelech got up to the Mount Zalmon, he and all the people that were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in his hand, and cut down a bough from the trees, and took it and laid it on his shoulder, and said to the people that were with him, "What you have seen me do, make haste and do as I have done." And all the people likewise cut down every man his bough, and followed Abimelech, and put them to the hold, and set the hold on fire upon them, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died also, about 1,000 men and women. Then went Abimelech to Tebez, and encamped against Tebez, and took it. But there was a strong tower within the city, and there fled all the men and women, and all they of the city, and shut it to them, and got them up to the top of the tower. And Abimelech came to the tower, and fought against it, and went hard to the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And a certain woman cast a piece of millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull. Then he called hastily to the young man his armor-bearer, and said to him, "Draw your sword and slay me, that men say not of me, a woman slew him." And his young man thrust him through, and he died. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man to his place. Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did to his father in slaying his 70 brethren. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did God render upon their heads. And upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. And after Abimelech there arose to defend Israel Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar. And he dwelt in Shamir in Mount Ephraim. And he judged Israel 23 years, and died, and was buried in Shamir. And after him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and had judged Israel 22 years. And he had 30 sons that rode on 30 ass colts, and they had 30 cities, which are called Habbethjar to this day, which are in the land of Gilead. And Jair died and was buried in Canaan. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Balaam and Ashtaroth, and the gods of Syria, and the gods of Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord and served him not. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines, and into the hands of the children of Ammon. And that year they vexed and oppressed the children of Israel. 18 years, all the children of Israel that were on the other side of Jordan in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Moreover, the children of Ammon passed over Jordan to fight also against Judah and against Benjamin and against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was sore distressed. And the children of Israel cried to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you, both because we've forsaken our God and also served Balaam." And the Lord said to the children of Israel, "Did not I deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines? The Gideonites also, and the Amalekites and the Maonites did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet you have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry to the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation." And the children of Israel said to the Lord, "We have sinned. Do you to us whatsoever seems good to you. Deliver us only, we pray you, this day." And they put away the strange gods from among them and served the Lord. And his soul was grieved for the misery of Israel. When the children of Ammon were gathered together and encamped in Gilead, and the children of Israel assembled themselves together and encamped in Mizpah. And the people and princes of Gilead said one to another, "What man is he that will begin to fight against the children of Ammon? He shall be head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead fathered Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bore him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust Jephthah out and said to him, "You shall not inherit our father's house, for you are the son of a strange woman." Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelled in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to bring Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said to Jephthah, "Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon." And Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "Did not you hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are you come to me now when you are in distress?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "Therefore we turn again to you now, that you may go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." And Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "If you bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord be witness between us if we do not do so according to your words." Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers to the king and the children of Ammon, saying, "What have you to do with me that you are come against me to fight in my land?" And the king of the children of Ammon answered to the messengers of Jephthah, "Because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even to Jabbok and to Jordan. Now therefore restore these lands again peacefully." And Jephthah sent messengers again to the king of the children of Ammon, and said to him, "Thus says Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness to the Red Sea and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, 'Let me, I pray you, pass through your land.' But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. And in like manner they sent to the king of Moab, but he would not consent. And Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not inside the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the king of Heshbon. And Israel said to him, "Let us pass, we pray you, through your land into my place." But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coasts. But Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And the Lord God of Israel delivered Sihon and all the people into the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. And they possessed all the coasts of the Amorites, from the Arnon even to Jabbok, and from the wilderness even to Jordan. So now the Lord God of Israel has dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel, and should you possess it? Will you not possess that which Chemosh your God gave you to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our God shall drive out from before us, them we will possess. And now are you on any better thing than Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelled in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aroer and her towns, and in all the cities belong by the coast of Arnon, 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? Wherefore I have not sinned against you, but you do me wrong to war against me. The Lord the judge be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. However, the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not to the words of Jephthah, which he sent him.
Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead, and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over to the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow to the Lord, and said, "If you shall without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be, that whatsoever comes forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up, a burnt offering." So Jephthah passed over to the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Aroer even till you come to Minnith, even 20 cities, and to the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpah, to his house. And behold, his daughter came out to meet him, with timbrels and with dances. And she was his only child. Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are one of them that troubles me. For I have opened my mouth to the Lord, and I cannot go back. And she said to him, My father, if you have opened your mouth to the Lord, do to me according to that which has proceeded out of your mouth. For as much as the Lord has taken vengeance for you of your enemies, even to the children of Ammon. And she said to her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains, and bewail my virginity, and I and my fellows. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions, and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man. And it was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. And the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together, and went northward, and said to Jephthah, Wherefore passed you over to fight against the children of Ammon, and did not call us to go with you? We will burn your house upon you with fire. And Jephthah said to them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon, and when I called you, you delivered me not out of their hands. And when I saw that you delivered me not, I put my life in my hands, and passed over against the children of Ammon, and the Lord delivered them into my hand. Wherefore then are you come up to me this day, to fight against me? Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead, and fought with Ephraim, and the men of Gilead smote Ephraim, because they said, You Gileadites are fugitives of Ephraim among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites. And the Gileadites took the passages of Jordan before the Ephraimites. And it was so, that when those Ephraimites which were escaped said, Let me go over, that the men of Gilead said to him, Are you an Ephraimite? If he said, Nay, they said to him, Say now, Shibboleth. And he said, Sibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it right. Then they took him, and slew him at the passages of Jordan. And there fell at that time of the Ephraimites 42,000. And Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then died Jephthah the Gileadite, and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. And after him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent abroad, and took in 30 daughters from abroad for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years. Then died Ibzan, and was buried at Bethlehem. And after him, Elon, a Zebulunite, judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. And Elon the Zebulunite died, and was buried in Aijalon, in the country of Zebulun. And after him, Abdon, the son of Hillel, a Pirathonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 nephews, that rode on 60 ass colts, and he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon, the son of Hillel, the Pirathonite, died, and was buried in Pirathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites.
And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bore not. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, Behold, now you are barren and bear not, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray you, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came to me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not from where he was, neither told he me his name. But he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Lord, and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which you did send come again to us, and teach us what we shall do to the child that shall be born. And God hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband, and said to him, Behold, the man has appeared to me that came to me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man and said to him, Are you the man that spoke to the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let your words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do to him? And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Of all that I said to the woman, let her beware. She may not eat of anything that comes of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, I pray you, let us detain you until we shall have made ready a kid for you. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Though you detain me, I will not eat of your bread. And if you will offer a burnt offering, you must offer it to the Lord. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, What is your name, that when your sayings come to pass we may do you honor? And the angel of the Lord said to him, Why ask you thus after my name, seeing it is secret? So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering, and offered it upon a rock to the Lord. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it, and fell on their faces to the ground. But the angel of the Lord did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, We shall surely die, because we have seen God. But his wife said to him, If the Lord were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands, neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would, as at that time, have told us such things as these. And the woman bore a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol.
And Samson went down to Timnah, and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up, and he told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore, get her for me as a wife. Then his father and his mother said to him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of your brethren, or among all my people, that you go and take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said to his father, Get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then went Samson down, as his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. And behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. But he told not his father and mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he had returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat, but he told them not where he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down to the woman, and Samson made a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said to them, I will now put forth a riddle to you. If you can certainly declare it me within 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if you cannot declare it me, then you shall give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said to him, Put forth your riddle, that we may hear it. And he said to them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in these days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said to Samson's wife, Entice your husband, that he may declare to us the riddle, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you called us to take what we have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept before him and said, You do but hate me and love me not. You have put forth a riddle to the children of my people and have not told it to me. And he said to her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor mother, and shall I tell it to you? And she wept before him the 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him, and she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said to him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you had not found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and he slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments to them, which expounded the riddle. And his anger was so kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. But it came to pass within a little while after, in the time of the wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid, and he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. But her father would not allow him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that you had utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, Now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go forth into the standing corn and the Philistines, and burned up both the shooks, and also standing corn, with vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, Who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. And Samson said to them, Though you have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he smote them hip against thigh with great slaughter. And he went down to dwell in the top of the rock of Elam. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah, and spared themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, Why are you come up against us? And they answered, To bind Samson are we come up. to do to him as he has done to us. Then the 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock of Etam and said to Samson, Know you not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that you have done to us? And he said to them, As they did to me, so I have done to them. And they said to him, We are come down to bind you, that we may deliver you to the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said to them, Swear to me that you will not fall upon me yourselves. And they spoke to him, saying, No, but we will bind you fast and deliver you into their hand. But surely we will not kill you. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came to the Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. And the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burned with fire, and his bands loosened from his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramathalehi. And he was sorely thirsty, and called to the Lord, and said, You have given this great deliverance into the hand of your servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But God split a hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water from it. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof En-Kahor, which is Lehi to this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Then Samson went to Gaza, and saw there was a harlot, and went into her. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come here. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet and all night, saying, This morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of the hill that is before Hebron.
And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up to her and said to her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lies, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray you, wherein your great strength lies, and wherewith you might be bound to afflict you. And Samson said to her, If they bind me with 7 green wise that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green wise, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said to him, The Philistines be upon you, Samson. And he broke the wise as a thread of tow is broken when it touches the fire. So his strength was not known. And Delilah said to Samson, Behold, you have mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray you, wherewith you might be bound. And he said to her, If they bind me fast with new ropes that were never occupied, then I shall be weak and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said to him, The Philistines be upon you, Samson. And there were liers in wait, abiding in the chamber, and he broke them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said to Samson, Until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith you might be bound. And he said to her, If you weave the 7 locks of my head with the web, and she fastened it with the pin and said to him, "The Philistines be upon you, Samson." And he awakened out of his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said to him, "How can you say, 'I love you,' when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me wherein your great strength lies." And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him so that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart and said to her, "There has not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I be shaved, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man." And when Delilah saw he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, "Come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart." Then the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, "The Philistines be upon you, Samson." And he awoke out of his sleep and said, "I will go out as at other times before and shake myself." And he knew not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaved. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god, and to rejoice, for they said, "Our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hand." And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, "Our God has delivered into our hands our enemy and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us." And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, "Call for Samson, that he may make us sport." And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars. And Samson said to the lad that held him by the hand, "Allow me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house stands, that I may lean upon them." Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. And Samson called to the Lord and said, "O Lord God, remember me, I pray you, and strengthen me. I pray you only this once, O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes." And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, and the one with his right hand, and the other with his left. And Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah his father. And he judged Israel 20 years.
And there was a man of Mount Ephraim, whose name was Micah. And he said to his mother, "The 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from you, about which you cursed and spoke of also in my ears, behold, the silver is with me. I took it." And his mother said, "Blessed be you of the Lord my son." And when he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother, His mother said, I had wholly dedicated the silver to the Lord from my hand for my son to make a graven image and a molten image. Now, therefore, I will restore it to you. Yet he restored the money to his mother, and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of Micah. And the man Micah had a house of gods, and made an ephod and teraphim, and consecrated one of his sons, who became his priest. In those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. And there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And the man departed out of the city from Bethlehem, Judah, to sojourn where he could find a place. And he came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. And Micah said to him, From where come you? And he said to him, I am a Levite of Bethlehem, Judah, and I go to sojourn where I may find a place. And Micah said to him, Dwell with me, and be to my father and a priest. Be to me a father and a priest, and I will give you 10 shekels of silver by the year, and a suit of apparel, and your victuals. So the Levite went in. And the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man was to him as one of his sons. And Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest, and was in the house of Micah. Then said Micah, Now know that I, the Lord, will do. Please know that the Lord will do me good, seeing I have a Levite to my priests.
In those days there was no king in Israel. In those days the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in. For to that day all their inheritance had not fallen from among the tribes of Israel. And the children of Dan sent to Shechem 5 men from their coasts, men of valor, from Zorah and from Eshtaol, to spy out the land and to search it. And they said to them, Go, search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. When they were by the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man the Levite, and they turned in there and said to him, Who brought you here? And what make you in this place? And what have you here? And he said to them, Thus and thus deals Micah with me, and has hired me, and I am his priest. And they said to him, Ask counsel, we pray you, of God, that we may know whether our way which we go shall be prosperous. And the priest said to them, Go in peace, before the Lord is your way wherein you go. Then the 5 men departed and came to Laish, and saw the people that were therein, how they dwelled careless after the manner of the Zidonians, quiet and secure. And there was no magistrate in the land that might put them to shame in anything, and they were far from the Zidonians, and had no business with any man. And when they came to their brethren to Zorah and Eshtaol, and their brethren said to them, What say you? And they said, Arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. And are you still? Be not slothful to go, and to enter to possess the land. When you go, you shall come to a people secure, and to a large land, for God has given it into your hands, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. And there went from there of the family of the Danites, out of Zorah and out of Eshtaol, 600 men appointed with weapons of war. And they went up and pitched in Kirjath-jearim in Judah. Wherefore they called that place Mahanadan to this day. Behold, it is behind Kirjath-jearim. And they passed from there to Mount Ephraim, and came to the house of Micah. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish, and said to their brethren, Do you know that there is in these houses an ephod and teraphim and a graven image and a molten image? Now therefore consider what you have to do. And they turned aside there and came to the house of the young man the Levite,
even to the house of Micah, and saluted him. And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were of the children of Dan, stood by the entering of the gate. And the 5 men that went out to spy the land went up and came in there, and took the graven image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image, and the priest stood in the entering of the gate with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And these went into Micah's house and brought the carved image, the ephod, the teraphim, and the molten image. Then said the priest to them, What do you? And they said to him, Hold your peace. Lay your hand upon your mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for you to be a priest to the house of one man, or that you be a priest to a tribe and a family in Israel? And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image, and went in the midst of the people. So they turned and departed, and put the little ones in the cattle and the carriage before them. And when they were a good way from the house of Micah, the men that were in the houses near to Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. And they cried to the children of Dan, and they turned their faces and said to Micah, What ails you that you come with such good company? And he said, You have taken away my gods which I made, and the priest, and you are gone away, and what have I more? And what is this that you say to me, What ails you? And the children of Dan said to him, Let not your voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows run upon you, and you lose your life with the lives of your household. And the children of Dan went back their way. And when they saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. And they took the thing